We're flying over the foothills of the Andes and approaching one of the most mysterious archaeological finds in history. Along a rocky ridge in Peru, you may notice something strange. It's like a giant motorcycle has driven along a mountain and left a tire mark. However, the lower you go, the less it looks like a tire track. This is something even more bizarre. These are thousands of holes in the ground that could fit a space hopper. There are so many that they stretch in several rows along the mountainside. If you stand next to the first pit, you won't be able to see the last one in the distance. This place is called the Band of Holes, and for decades, scientists couldn't figure out what it was. However, it now seems that the mystery has been solved. It's unlikely that you'll be able to guess what it is, but there are some theories for you. A trail of small excavated holes about 1 mile long was created by an extraterrestrial civilization to communicate with space. These holes were dug by ancient peoples to collect water during the rain. A large country used these holes to collect taxes. In the past, geologists made these holes to collect condensation from the fog. Farmers dug those pits to grow crops there. Perhaps these are small trenches for people to sit in and defend themselves during enemy attacks. Or maybe they're graves. The mysterious trail is very similar to a geoglyph. Geoglyphs are giant patterns on the ground that can be seen from a great height. These patterns are created by removing the topsoil. Then workers place stones or plant trees on the bare land. So the Band of Holes is probably a geoglyph, but it's quite strange. It's not a pattern or a drawing, but just a straight line running through a mountainous area. So, what are your assumptions? Let's take a closer look at this thing. For the first time, this band of holes was noticed by aerial photographer Robert Shippey in 1931. So these pits have been there for quite some time. There are about 5,000 to 6,000 of them here. Some of them are dug into ground mounds, while others are in stone formations. This means that the creators didn't care about the quality of the soil. So, these pits were hardly used for growing crops. If these were graves, scientists would have found human remains there, but there was nothing like that. Besides, these pits are not deep enough to be graves. We've got to discard the idea that this road was made by inhabitants of another planet because, come on, that's just not serious. Then, what is it? A defensive line or markers for travelers? If people had fired arrows from these holes or stored ammunition there, there would surely be traces left, right? But there's nothing like that there. Nothing that would indicate conflicts and battles. But surely, there was something else there. Any artifacts? Oh yes. Scientists have found traces of corn and wild plants that were used to weave baskets. So they kept baskets with corn here? No, rather they arranged pits with these plants and then placed corn and other goods in them. Then it's something like a show window. That is, hundreds of people came here, dug holes, and put their goods inside. Thousands of other people passed by and chose what to buy. What if it's an ancient supermarket or shopping mall, and these pits were shelves? Right now, we are much closer to solving this mystery. Yes, people dug those pits in order to put goods inside and measure them. 1 pit of corn, 1 pit of cotton, 1 pit of hot pepper. It was something like a measurement system instead of pounds, but they didn't do it for trading. To fully understand what was happening here, we need to determine exactly where this market was located, in which country it was built, and who lived there. Near the Band of Holes, archaeologists have also discovered the remains of warehouses in the Inca civilization. There were pieces of pottery that indicated the period around the 15th century. It was during this period that the Inca civilization conquered the Chincha people. They were a pre-Columbian indigenous people living on the southwestern coast of what is now Peru. And in the 15th century, they encountered the Incas. They were an American Indian people who created a gigantic empire even before Columbus discovered America. The Incas inhabited the territories of Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, and Argentina. This civilization was famous for its advanced state structure, as well as for building extensive networks of roads and majestic cities. As an empire, the Inca lasted from the mid-15th to the mid-16th centuries, before getting conquered by the Spanish conquistadors. Okay, the picture is getting clearer. The Incas came to the Chinchi territory and conquered it. But why did they force them to dig these holes? Or did they not force anyone? To answer this question, let's look at what is nearby. Next to the band of holes was a large Inca administrative center. And not far from the pits, the Inca built a road leading to it. Negotiations, trade, calculations of profits, and the distribution of food and other goods likely took place at this center. The Incas didn't have money as we understand it. They didn't pay with coins, much less paper notes, but they needed to collect tribute from the conquered peoples. So they came up with a system for exchanging goods. The only problem was how to properly calculate the amount of corn, pumpkin, pepper, and other stuff. They didn't have scales, but they came up with another way. Holes. The Chinchi had to fill the pits with their goods, and then the Incas would collect them, taking them to the administrative center. The pits may have been distributed among individual Chinchi families. Each of them paid the Incas. That's how it happened. The Inca troops, which included guards, accountants, and officials, were traveling toward the administrative center. Along the way, they stopped at the band of holes, where people had already laid out their goods. The Incas loaded everything into carts and then took it to their base and counted it there. In a sense, this is what paying taxes looked like about 600 years ago. Okay, you've just found out the answer to one of the most confusing archaeological mysteries. Scientists have spent a lot of time and effort to crack it, but let's look at something else. Something that remains a mystery to the entire archaeological community. Perhaps you can solve the mystery of the Nazca lines. We don't have to go far from the band of holes. The giant geoglyph of the Nazca lines is also located in Peru, and that's what we've got here. Over 300 geometric shapes, 800 straight lines, and 70 images of animals and plants called biomorphs. The sizes of some of these biomorphs are as large as the Empire State Building, and some lines reach up to 30 miles. That is, someone painted such a giant geoglyph that it can be seen from space. But who made this? And the main question is, why? Scientists suggest that this was created by the Nazca people. Their peak and period of prosperity occurred from around 1 to 700 CE. So these lines are definitely over 1,000 years old. They appeared a long time ago, but people were only able to identify the landscape and the drawings after the advent of aviation. Commercial pilots flying over Peru in the 1930s saw the full scale of the geoglyphs for the first time, and since then, people have been trying to figure out their nature. Someone thought the lines had something to do with cartography or astronomy, but this theory didn't catch on because there was no evidence. To solve this mystery, we need to explore the area. The region where the Nazca lines are located is quite hot and dry. The people who lived there needed water since they only got 20 minutes of rain per year. Therefore, many archaeologists have suggested that this geoglyph was associated with rituals to summon rain. It was difficult for people to survive there without moisture. They believed that images of certain mythical creatures could bring rain. Anyway, this theory hasn't been proven yet. Scientists are still wondering. And what do you think?
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.